How's it going, guys? Andrew here with Justified EDC, and I got another new knives and gear video here for you. Just a couple things that I've gotten in recently that I wanted to show off that we're going to be start doing testing on and carrying. Some of them are actually my products. We're going to be doing a little bit of a shameless plug here for my other business, but then a couple other things that I got sent in from makers and some stuff that I got myself. So we'll get into all that, but again, before we start anything, we got to thank the sponsor of the channel, as always, Auxiliary Manufacturing. Mike over at Auxiliary Manufacturing is doing awesome custom USA-made fixed blades, one of them being the Pocket Bowie, a very popular model right now. Another one of my favorites, the Sumi. This is kind of like my desk knife, nice little reverse edge Pikal style knife. Just really awesome stuff. He has a little bit of something for everyone. I will leave links down in the description to his pages and everything. I do have a discount code with him. Justified10 will get you 10% off your order on his website, so definitely go check those out. And thank you, as always, to Mike for sponsoring the channel. So let me get this stuff out of the way here. I got a lot of stuff on my desk right now, so we're trying to stay organized. Let's get my shameless plugs here out of the way. We got two new things that we're working on over at G3D. Actually got a couple things, but you guys saw that multi-tool that we were working on a couple of videos ago, the one with the ceramic blade. That's going to be one of the multi-tools we're working on. The other one is the puck strap. I think you guys are going to start seeing this around. We got to send it off to a couple different makers. But these two here, we haven't shown off much. I just did a big in-depth video over on the G3D YouTube channel, which I'll leave a link to, on this lighter multi-tool. And then I haven't done anything long form on this yet, so we're going to show this off as well. So one thing at a time. Let's go over this first. So this is, and we're actually going to be taking name suggestions for this. So if you guys have any suggestions for what we should call this, leave it here, leave it on the G3D channel, leave it on Instagram, anything like that. And if we end up using your name suggestion, we'll send you one of these guys for free. Same goes with all the other products that we're naming that are coming out soon. So this is going to be a multi-tool / stash kit, whatever you want to call it, based around a Bic lighter. So the way this works here, this is just friction fit, and the Bic lighters, as uniform as they may look, because, you know, they all look the same to us, they actually aren't dimensionally all exactly the same. So down in here, we actually have a little bit of engineering going on. We have these two flanges in here that put some pressure on the lighter. That way, you know, whether you leave the sticker on or if the dimensions are slightly off, they still get a nice snug friction fit. There's no way that's coming out of there. It's just a nice snug fit, but it's still easy enough to take out and put back in to replace your lighters. It can go in either orientation, just like that. I prefer this direction just because you're going off the back, that you don't land on any of your storage or anything like that. One of the things that we include on here is this little clip. So this is, if you've seen, you know, the bushcraft guys or the survival guys, you know, they'll sometimes put a zip tie underneath the button here on a Bic lighter to keep the fuel from being evaporated. So, you know, if this is in your pocket or something, you don't want to have that just sit there and then you're losing fuel. So they sometimes will run a zip tie under there. The problem with that, though, is you kind of have to like work it off, or you have to cut it every time. This little clip just clips in there with these two detents on either side. It sits underneath and it keeps it from sparking the spark will still go, but you won't be able to activate the fuel, so you're not going to be losing any fuel. If you want to use it, you just pop that off and your lighter works. So that's one thing that'll be coming with that. Other than that, we have, similar to our other multi-tool, these two plugs up here for storage. These are just a flexible TPU that you can work out there, and then you have two storage tubes. Similar to the other one, you can store those mini chem lights, some jute. We have a couple proprietary ones with the plugs that have a small ferro rod, a spool for Kevlar cord, a tube you can put there's different liquids and stuff in. But use your imagination. These run pretty much like down to here, so you can fit a bunch of different stuff in those tubes, whatever you can really think of, toothpicks, anything like that. Down here, you have another storage compartment that I'll take off camera because it's kind of hard for me to get to on camera. There we go. Again, another TPU, just press fit, but you have a larger storage area down inside there. Again, if you're using this for EDC, you can put your pills that you take every day, some ibuprofen or anything like that. You could put a little bit of tinder in there, some water purification tablets, really whatever you want can go be stored down in there. Again, that is not coming out of there. There's no way. You really have to get your fingernail underneath there or another tool and pull that out. In addition to that, on the top here, we also have these 3 little slots. And if you're saying that looks like a Victorinox, that's because they store Victorinox scale tools. So you have the Victorinox toothpick, you have the Victorinox tweezers, and you have the Victorinox ballpoint pen. So all 3 of the Victorinox tools that you can fit in the scales will fit inside there. You can use your own. I believe we'll be sending these out with the Victorinox tools. We're sourcing these from Knife Center, so they're the black ones were just cheaper than the brown ones that you usually end up seeing. So we wanted to keep the cost down for you guys. But you know, gray on the pen. But any of your Victorinox tools that fit in the scales will fit in here. In addition, you have this little lanyard hole down here. It will come with a lanyard with one of our G3D knuckle beads, also 3D printed. The material in this is ABS, very impact resistant, also very heat resistant. You can, leave this out in the heat, leave it in your car, anything like that. The deformation temperature on this, melting temperature, is very high. You're not going to have to worry about this melting or anything like that. In addition to that, the shape of this lends itself very well to being like a loaded fist or a palm brace. So, if you had to use that in a pinch, you could. You can also, again, just like a lot of guys run like Bic lighters with tape or cordage around them, you can do that with here. You can do that here as well. We're also thinking about, just like on our other multi-tool, putting like a match strike sticker on here. So the sky's kind of the limit here. Use your imagination. You can store whatever you want in here. Use this for whatever you want. But we're really excited about these, and we think they're going to do well. So let us know what you guys think of these. Again, colors will probably change. This is just a prototype. I'm carrying, sorry, I can't speak right now, apparently. I'm just carrying this and using it right now to see how it works out. We'll probably be doing some drop test footage upcoming here, but just wanted to show that off on my personal channel as well as on the G3D side. And for the first time on YouTube, I show this off at the G3D Instagram. You guys know I really like the Milwaukee. I think this is the 1501 is the number, but it's the Milwaukee fastback that also has the bit driver. And one thing that people often don't like about these is that they're only tip-down carry. There's only one orientation for the pocket clip. You can only carry it tip-down, which it makes more sense for me to have it tip up, because you come out and then your finger's right there where the button is. And everyone just likes tip-up carry better. So we designed this little insert here that kind of clips in with the liner underneath, and then uses 2 of the existing hardware holes on here, as well as some brass heat inserts here with these screws on the top. It's actually 2 pieces that thread together around one of the metal liners on the inside, and then use the same wire pocket clip that normally comes on the Milwaukee fastback. But now, in addition to being a little bit more deep carry, it is also tip up. So this is one of 2 that we have right now that's in this finished variation. I'm going to start carrying this and using it, seeing how it holds up. Right now, we're very happy with how everything fits. It's on there really, really tight and snug. It's not going anywhere. Again, I'll probably do some drop tests on this as well and film it. But let us know what you think about this. I know a lot of people are excited about this. I haven't really seen anyone else doing this, making any kind of modification. So if you guys are interested in these, definitely keep an eye out. Both the lighter and the Milwaukee tool are not on our website yet, but I'll still leave links to all the G3D stuff down below so you guys can follow along. And if you want to see how prototyping and testing goes on here, definitely keep an eye on the Instagram and YouTube channel for G3D. All right, now that the shameless plugs are out of the way, let's get into some other stuff that isn't my own product. This here is a carabiner. That's all it is. It's nothing crazy, but I've been looking for the right carabiner / key clip for my key setup for a while, and I think this is the one that I'm finally happy with. One problem I had with just traditional carabiners is I'd often find them, getting caught on stuff or getting bumped off of my belt loop and falling onto the ground or anything like this. And this is a locking carabiner, but not like normal ones that you would see where you kind of like move the slide up and you have to manually move that down every time. This has this little spring-loaded piece on the back that when it's up, you can't activate that carabiner, but when this is pushed down, that slot is open and you can use the carabiner as normal. Now, you might think, you know, that's kind of obtrusive. You have to, you know, make sure you're pressing down on both things to be able to use it. But actually, when you grip the carabiner like you normally would to put it on your keys, the pressure of your hand just holding that actually puts it in the right place. This is very easy to get it on and off of your belt loop, but once it's on there, if it gets bumped, it's not coming loose. So I think this is the name of it here. This was just from Amazon. I don't really like the billboarding or anything on here, but it is what it is. So far, so good. I will see how it holds up long term. But so far, really been enjoying these. If you're interested in one of these, I'll link these down below as well to the Amazon page so you can find these for yourself. But I think this might actually be the key clip that I stay with for a while. You guys know, if you follow my EDC updates, that I kind of swap key setups a lot. Not necessarily what's on my keys, but just how I'm carrying them, because I hate most key clips. So that is that. The next thing here is this. The knife is not new. This is, if you guys saw my fixed blade collection, or if you watch any of my fixed blade reviews where I use this as a size comparison, this is the CNC Izula 2. This was my grandfather's knife that I inherited from him a few years back when he passed away. I added this little bead on here just to keep the paracord wrap all nice and tight. But if you know, let me see if I can find the stock sheath over here. Yeah, here we go. The stock sheath just looks like this. It's just a regular injection molded sheath. It works just fine, but the retention's really tight. And there's not a really great way to, definitely not a great way to pocket carry it. It's more of a neck knife. This is kind of the setup that my grandfather had. He made this neck lanyard for it out of paracord. He had some extra cordage wrapped around it, so I kept that stock, but sent this over to Redeemed Creations Leather to get this pocket sheath made for it. He's actually just starting to make some pocket sheaths for a bunch of different fixed blades out of leather, and he had put something out on his Instagram that if people were willing to send in their knives for him to use as a test for him to make the sheath for the knife, that he would make the sheath and then send you one back for free. So I jumped on that. I said I would send him this knife for him to use to make the sheath, and he very generously sent this gorgeous leather pocket sheath back for the Izula. So I'm very happy I have this now, because I've been wanting to carry my grandfather's knife more, but I didn't really like the stock sheath, and now you guys know I'm a big fan of pocket carry. It rides nice and deep in there. So this is a way that I can carry this knife and have it with me in just a way that I prefer to carry it. So really cool camo pattern leather. I like that he mounted the sheath, or he mounted the clip center line. That was one thing I had suggested on Instagram. He originally had it over to the side, and you guys know I'm not a big fan of pocket sheaths that have the clip mounted off center, because then when you draw or you resheath, the sheath tends to cant and make it more difficult to sheath and resheath. So very happy with how he did this. It works very well. Retention is decent. It can shake out because, it is leather, and I think these were probably made for the ones with scales. I might get a pair of scales for this eventually, but right now I'm just leaving it with the wrap that my grandfather did on it, just for nostalgia's sake. So, but very happy to have this. The leather work is absolutely gorgeous. I really like how it came out. I love that he's using Discreet Carry Concepts clips instead of some other inferior clip, in my opinion. So this is really, really nice. Just wanted to show this off. I'll probably do a full review on this eventually, but just wanted to show that off. Just got it a couple days ago, and I've been carrying it since I got it. And then the last thing here, this is something that just came in today. This is the Turner CNC Jackalope XL. I had done a review a while ago on the regular Jackalope, which is just the smaller version of this. And I liked it, but it was just a little small for me. The handle was a little short. The blade was a little stubby. So I had reached out to Turner CNC to see if they would be willing to send me something to review, and they offered to send me this. So I was absolutely thrilled. You guys know I love clip points. I love bowies. This is just an absolutely gorgeous knife. So I'll pull everything out here that they sent with it, and we can talk about it here. So send some of their stickers. There's the Jackalope specific one, which looks really cool. Turner CNC logo. There's their card. So the specs on here: CPM 3V, HRC 60 with cryo. I actually, to be completely honest, don't know, what the optimal HRC is for 3V. So I'll research that. But everything I've heard, everyone is very happy with the heat treat on their 3V. I love 3V steel. It's very tough. has decent edge retention. It is not stainless though, which is why this has a black DLC coating on it. So there's that. If you want to read this, you can pause and look over it. And then their sheath, it did not come with this clip. It came with just a soft loop here, so you can carry it vertically or horizontally on your belt. But I added this DCC clip so that you can kind of carry it inside the waistband, kind of angled, so you can kind of just go in your waistband and grab it like this. The sheath itself, not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of the sheath. The Kydex is very, very, very thin, so I'm worried about the longevity of this holding up over time. But not to worry, I'll probably end up sending this over to Offensive Industries to get a pocket sheath made for anyways. And the sheath does work. The retention is excellent. It's easy enough to draw. You can get a full grip on the handle to draw it out. You can kind of use this as a thumb lever to push off. And I know that I've talked to them on Instagram before. They admittedly are not like sheath people. They are knife makers. And that's why a lot of people end up doing aftermarket sheaths for these. And that's just, they're okay with that. I'm okay with that. All I ask is, you know, a functional sheath. And this is a functional sheath. It does work. So that's how I have it set up right now. I also did have this extra Offensive Industries sheath laying around that I remolded so that I can carry it in the pocket in the meantime. It's a little big for what it is, but it works. Again, like I said, I'll probably end up sending this to Josh for a actual sheath made for this so I can carry it in the pocket. In addition, they also sent some lubricant and protectant. This is a DLC version. They do have one that they just leave like the heat treat finish on, which you definitely want to keep that blade oiled because it is 3V, which is a non-stainless steel. It will rust on you. But with the DLC, that should keep it nice and protected. So DLC coated 3V steel, nice thick stock, but it is full flat grind, so it comes down to a very nice thin edge. This is one of the best factory edges I've gotten. I actually don't have any great paper here to cut right now, but when I got this out of the box, it was just going right through paper. As you can see a little bit on here, I actually just, you know, cut up some cardboard with it just to see how it cuts. It cuts very, very nicely. The tip isn't too thin, but again, 3V, I'm not worried about it. I'll do some tip tests like I normally do to see how that holds up. The handles here are G10. They also sent me a set of Ultim scales as well, which are really cool. These actually came on it, but I liked the, I wanted to see how the black G10 looked, so I took them off and swapped them. These have black hardware. These have these kind of like brass hardware. I think the brass actually were with the Ultim, but I liked how the brass, or copper, or whatever you want to call it, looked with the black G10, so that's how I have it on there. The other feature of these is, they sent these pennies along. You can actually take these scales off just using a penny, and I will show you here backing with the Ultim scales. So I take these off here as I unscrew these with the penny, which is really cool. It's nice that you don't need a bunch of tools and stuff to take the knife apart. It's nice that you can just do it with a common household object. These scales are actually hollowed out on either side. And the knife itself, if I was to take these scales off, is actually skeletonized in there. So you can actually store stuff inside the handle. So, you know, you can keep some cordage or some chem lights or really whatever you can fit in that little space. I think they call it like a smuggler's pocket, which is kind of cool. On the Ultim ones, it wouldn't be, you know, as like stealthy, quote unquote, because they're see-through. You know, you can see my finger moving behind there. So if you had something dark in there, you can see it. But with the black G10, you could absolutely hide some stuff inside the scales. These are nicely contoured. They have these two like pinch points here that when you have it in hand, it feels really good. Forward and reverse grip. Again, this isn't a full review. I'll use this more before we do a whole review, but overall, very happy with it. The handle is big enough for me. It's just big enough for me. I'll give you an overall size here. Overall, it is just about 7 3/4 inches. The handle length is about 3.5 inches. Usually like my handle's about 4 inches long. I actually wouldn't mind if this was a little bit longer, but for my medium-sized hands, you know, I wear a medium-sized glove, I can get a full 4-finger grip on this in both forward and reverse grip, so it's very comfortable. These contours help out a lot. This textured G10 gives you enough grip. Just an absolutely gorgeous knife. I love Bowies, and I'm very happy to have another pocket-sized Bowie that I can carry in EDC. So that is it for this video, guys. That is all I have for you. You know, I'll pull this stuff back out here for you to look at. But you know, thank you for putting up with me pushing my product here. Hopefully, you guys are looking forward to some of these products coming out as much as I am. And again, follow me on Instagram if you want to see, you know, the testing process as I go through a bunch of these things. And you know, you'll see some of this stuff in some future EDC updates. But that's all I got for you guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the description or the comment section. What am I saying? As always, I will see you guys in the next video.